morning. Welcome and thank you for your presence to those of you attending in person as well as those of you zooming in today's Dharma Family Hybrid Service. I am Wendy Terada and I will serve as your MC this morning. As a reminder to those of you on Zoom, please mute your mics during the entire service unless you have a speaking part. For those of you here at the temple, you may chant and sing while remaining masked, assisting Reverend Blayne with technical support are Alan Matsumoto, Joey Gussman, and Stephen Kaneko. Corrine Chong is our organist. Please rise and let us start the service with the Vandana and Tisarana led by Reverend Blayne. Again, those of you on Zoom, be sure you have muted your mics. Please chant both the Pali and English parts together with Reverend Blayne. Please remain standing for an aspiration which will be shared by Claudia Chang.
Thank you, Wendy. The words of Renyo Shonin. If one walks looking far ahead and pays no attention to the ground beneath his feet, he will stumble. If one gazes critically upon others and forgets to look into himself, he will bring tragedy upon himself. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you, Claudia. Please be seated. It is now time for offering of incense. We invite all the Sangha in attendance to please come up and offer incense if you wish, starting with the front rows and moving towards the back. Let us now observe a moment of silent meditation.
Namandam, 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 namandam.
Reverend Blayne will now lead us in chanting the Sutra 12 Homages. Words are on the screen as well on page 120 in the Red Service Book. Again, page 120 in the Red Service Book.
The Junidai, or 12 Homages, was composed by Nagarjuna, the first of the 7 masters of Jodo Shinshu. Nagarjuna celebrates the beauty, grandeur, and preciousness of the Pure Land, which manifests the virtues of Amida Buddha and expresses the desire to be born in the realm of enlightenment. The phrase Koga Chodai Mida Son, or thus I bow to Amida, is repeated 10 times and has the same meaning as Namo Amida Butsu. This expression of dedication powerfully reminds us of our commitment to the Buddha and the land of peace, where everyone attains the highest fulfillment of Buddhahood.
Please rise for singing of the Gatha, Song of Hope.
Not how yet. Yeah. Gods and men all bow in awe to Amida the revered in Buddha's wondrous pure land. Bodhisattvas gather round, golden form like the mountain king, steadfast like the elephant's pace, Buddha's eyes like the blue lotus. Thus I bow to Amida, Buddha's form round like the moon, bright like thousand suns and moons, Buddha's voice like the nightingale. Thus I bow to Amida, Buddha's figure on Canon's crown, adorned with wondrous features. Buddha subdues evilness. Thus I bow to Amida. Beyond compare, Amida's pure virtue shining clear like space. All benefit from Buddha. Thus I bow to Amida. life changes like the dew. We have no permanent self. Buddha teaches this law to all. Thus I bow to Amida. No evil in the Pure Land, and no fear of evil paths. Faithful hearts honor Buddha. Thus I bow to Amida, saving us through many ways. No tempters, no evil friends. Birth leads to enlightenment. Thus I bow to Amida. Amida, thus I have praised. Virtues boundless like the sea. These virtues shared with others for birth into the Pure Land. Namandabe. The virtue of Amida's vow is shared equally by all, together attaining awakened mind. We are born in the land of peace. Namandabu, 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 namandabs, namandabs, namandabs.
Sorry for stepping on your 12 homages just now. Okay. Please rise for the singing of the Gatha Song of Hope to the tune of the Coca-Cola song. For those of you in the temple, the words can be found on page 4 of the orange folders. There's no Betty to lead us today, so do your best to sing along with the recording.
Like to share our song of hope, of peace and harmony. Started from our little church at
Good job, everybody. You may be seated. Reverend Blayne will now share a Dharma message.
Everyone was really quiet, yeah, singing. So I know we all miss Betty, yeah, to lead us in the singing. But she's having fun in Vegas right now. I heard she's winning too, that's why. So good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here and joining us this morning for our Dharma family service. You know, just the other week, we had a wonderful Hanamatsuri service, right, celebrating the birth of Shakyamuni Buddha. Wasn't the Hanamido just beautiful? You know, every year we are so fortunate to receive a variety of flowers from our generous temple members, and each year we have a unique and beautifully decorated Hanamido. This is a wonderful lesson in the power of interdependence and how embracing impermanence and change can be beautiful. In the sacred story of the Buddha's birth, the baby is said to have taken 7 steps and declared, "In heaven above and on earth below, I am the most honored one. I shall dispel the suffering that fills this world." As we know, this probably didn't happen, but this story is rich in symbolism and meaning. The 7 steps signify that he would go beyond the 6 realms of existence, the realms of suffering, and take the extra step into the awakened life of a Buddha. This announcement proclaims his future attainment of Buddhahood, and it also reveals the desire of the Buddha to help all of us understand our own potential for transformation and change. Just like how a lotus flower rises from muddy waters to bloom beautifully, we also have the ability to transform the suffering we experience into something more. The Buddha shared with us a path of continual becoming. Each moment of our lives is an opportunity to look deep within to better understand the working of our own heart and mind. This is the profound interior practice of mindfulness that is a life of awakening. In Shin Buddhism, our practice isn't formal meditation, where we sit for hours, but rather it is the natural and spontaneous recitation of the Nembutsu that can be practiced in every moment of our busy lives. The name, Namo Amida Butsu, is the calling voice of Amida Buddha, the cosmic sound of wisdom and compassion, urging us to wake up, to be present. Our dojo, our practice hall in the Pure Land Path, is our ordinary daily lives, where we deeply listen with the ears of our hearts to all that life has to teach us. At the heart of Shakyamuni's teachings is the lesson of suffering, impermanence, and interdependence. These truths form the basis of our spiritual worldview and how we should act in the world, how we should be in the world. Each person's suffering is unique and real, and we should cultivate a compassionate heart and extend loving kindness towards all beings. Because we understand the truth of impermanence, we live our lives as if today is the first day and as if it could be possibly our last. If today was your last day on earth, how would you savor and cherish each moment? How would you treat those you love? How would you like to be remembered? Would you be able to put aside petty grievances, hurts, and to live with an open and compassionate heart? And because we understand interdependence, we act from the knowledge that we are truly part of a larger whole and must do all that we can to support each other. In these challenging times of conflict and war, we should reflect on this limitless life of true equality and freedom that was promised by the Buddha, and strive to walk the path of peace that he shared. In the true spirit of the Bodhisattva ideal, the goal of Shin Buddhism is not simply personal liberation, but a universal awakening of all beings in this world of suffering. In the hymn of the Pure Land, Shinran Shonin writes, "Those who attain the Pure Land of Peace return to this world of 5 defilements, and like Shakyamuni Buddha, bring endless benefit to all beings." The life of the historical Buddha offers a model for living in this world for the sake of others. The Dharma teaches us how to live with awareness, with compassion, and with grace for ourselves and others. This life of continual self-reflection is how we awaken to the dynamic activity of wisdom and compassion, always present in our lives. Living with this awareness, we should naturally embody and manifest the virtues of the Buddha in all that we do. Yet we know that the 3 poisons of greed, of anger, of ignorance continue to influence our lives, causing immense suffering. The ongoing war in Ukraine is just one example of how profoundly destructive our ego can be when left unchecked. In a letter to his followers, Shinran Shonin reflects on our capacity for unwholesome actions. He says, "Human beings are such that maddened by the passions of greed, we desire to possess. Maddened by the passions of anger, we hate that which should not be hated. Seeking to go against the law of cause and effect, led astray by the passions of ignorance, we do what should not even be thought. Only when illuminated by Amida's light can our unexamined inner life be revealed, and the darkness of the 3 poisons be neutralized. We must endeavor to listen deeply to the calling voice of wisdom and compassion, returning us home to ourselves. This is the working of Namu Amida Butsu, which transforms our ignorance into wisdom, our greed into generosity, and our anger, our hatred into love. We need to listen even more deeply in these dark and troubling times. Shakyamuni Buddha taught that the root cause of human suffering is our greed, anger, and ignorance, the 3 poisons. Doesn't it seem like we've been dealing with so much anger in recent years? From our politics to pandemic restrictions to how we deal with everyday difficulties of life. It seems like we are always angry about something, and we don't know how to quench the rising flames which threaten to consume us. It's natural to get angry. But what is harmful is when we cannot let go of that anger. In the Samyutta Nikaya, one of the early Pali writings, the Buddha offers the following teaching on anger. He says, "Having slain anger, one sleeps soundly. Having slain anger, one does not sorrow. The killing of anger or saka, with its poisoned root and honey tip, this is the killing the noble ones praise. For having slain that, one does not sorrow." The Buddha's path is not about escaping from the ocean of suffering, but rather is about diving into and immersing ourselves in it in order to be transformed. Just like how the lotus flower cannot grow in clear water, we cannot grow without the mud of our lives. Our challenges, our struggles, our obstacles, our hurts are the nutrients that allow us to grow and to thrive. The Buddha's teachings enable us to take it all in and to transform the muck, to transform all that junk stuff into a beautiful life of awakening. However, right, it's so easy for us to be consumed by anger. when we encounter difficulties in life. Our unresolved anger and resentment can lead to more suffering. The Buddha teaches how bloodstains cannot be removed by more blood. Resentment cannot be removed by more resentment. Resentment can be removed only by forgetting it. I recently watched the new Batman movie. And we know the superhero, right, is an instrument of vengeance who brings wrongdoers to justice. This movie explores how Batman, how his singular mission of vengeance is transformed through his experiences throughout the movie. Towards the end of the film, he reflects on the evolution of his anger in the following monologue, and he says, "Vengeance won't change the past, mine or anyone else's. I have to become more. People need hope to know someone is out there for them. The city is angry, scarred like me. Our scars can destroy us, even after the physical wounds have healed. But if we survive them, they can transform us. They can give us the power to endure and the strength to fight." Isn't this an example of a lotus blooming in mud? Of how through deep self-reflection we can transform our greed, anger, and ignorance into the reason for awakening. This is the everyday wisdom that the Buddha teaches and pushes us to become more, because we can be more. More than our greed, more than our anger, more than our ignorance. We become more of our foolish selves within the embrace of the Buddha's dynamic wisdom and compassion. Shakyamuni Buddha and Shinran Shonin understood that life is hard and that the way would be difficult. This is why there are three treasures: the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, in which we take refuge, in which we find safety, to be our true selves, our whole selves. It is in the unity of these three where we discover a complete path for our whole lives. In the teacher, we have the one who shows us the way in this life. In the teachings, we have the way of understanding and of love. And within community, within Sangha, we have a true place of practice, our lives, and our relationships with each other. We shouldn't just study the Dharma. We should live it. The Buddha taught that the way of peace is not passive, but rather is dynamic activity in our world. Each of us is responsible for cultivating the conditions for spiritual awakening and for living with Shinran's heartfelt wish. May there be peace in the world, and may the Buddha's teachings spread. We should respond to this spiritual call to action by embodying and creating the conditions for both personal and collective peace. The Buddha's birth truly offers us hope for living in this troubled world of ours. And so, as I conclude, please join me in Gasho for a closing reflection. The words of Gomonshu Koju no Tani, head priest of the Nishi Hongwanji, in gratitude for the Jodo Shinshu teachings. Namo Amida Butsu, entrust yourselves to me. I will liberate you just as you are. This is the calling voice of Amida. My blind passions are embraced in the Buddha's awakening. So the Buddha calls out to me, I will liberate you just as you are. Gratefully responding to the Buddha's call, I find that I am already on the path that leads to the Pure Land, and the Nembutsu flows freely from my thankful heart. Living with the Dharma as my guide softens my rigid heart and mind. Gratitude for the gift of life I have received frees me from becoming lost in greed and anger, and allows me to share a warm smile and speak gentle words, sharing in the joy and sadness of others. I shall strive to live each day to the fullest. In trusting in the Buddha of all-inclusive wisdom and all-embracing compassion, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namman Dabutsu. Namman Dabutsu. Namman Dabutsu. Namman Dabutsu. Thank you.
Thank you for your message, Reverend Blayne. Please stand as Alyssa Tagawa will now lead us in unison reading of Buddha's Golden Puzzle of Light and Life. Words are on your screen as well as on these handouts.
I am a piece in the Buddha's golden puzzle of light and life that connects the world. I must keep my peace bright and strong. I will try to think clear and helpful thoughts, to speak clear and helpful words, and to do kind and helpful deeds, knowing that on what I do now depends not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every piece in the Buddha's golden puzzle of light and life become bright and strong, and may we all realize and become perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you, Alyssa. Remain standing for the offertory presentation. Please continue to stand as we will conclude this service with singing of the Gatha Nembutsu.
Namandab, 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 namamidabutsu, namamidabutsu.
Okay, you may be seated. This concludes today's services. Here are a few announcements. First of all, we're a small temple in a small town on a small island in the middle of the ocean, but we have 4 guests that found us from Colorado, and we'd like to introduce them, and they can face our Sangha. It's Ann, Bill, Kay, and Mabel from Colorado. Could you please stand and be recognized? Thank you for joining us. Upcoming schedule of online services and events. Kind of long, so kind of hang, okay, guys. Reverend Blayne sent out a Kona Hongwanji weekly update email on Friday, April 22nd. Please check your email and be sure to read it for useful reminders of upcoming services, interesting flyers, and virtual links for a host of online Buddhist education events and seminars. Included also are important COVID vaccination information with links to many useful websites. Mark your calendars for Saturday, May 7th, and please come by the social hall to check out a craft fair from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. 125th anniversary cookbooks, clocks, and maybe even insulated shopping bags will be on sale, as well as many other items from various participating vendors. It's a great chance to find a Mother's Day gift. Our next hybrid Dharma family service will be on Sunday, May 8th at 10 a.m. We will be celebrating Mother's and Children's Day. Our guest speaker will be Tamayo Matsumoto, wife of Bishop Eric Matsumoto. She will be flying over and speaking to us live, so please come to meet and greet her. On May 15, we will be observing our annual baccalaureate service at 10 a.m. It will be a hybrid service, so you can attend in person or via Zoom. Our in-person guest speaker will be Janice Ikeda, Executive Director of Vibrant Hawaii, a community-based leadership organization that helps to connect the citizens of Hawaii with the resources available to them. So if you have a child or grandchild that will be graduating or has graduated from high school, college, and professional or vocational school in 2022, please let the temple office know by this Friday, April 29th, so we can recognize them at this service. On May 22nd, we will be observing Gota A service celebrating the birthday of our founder, Shinran Shonin. Service starts at 10 a.m. and you may attend in person or via Zoom. Our guest speaker will be Reverend Masanari Yamagishi of North Hawaii Temples. Okay, reminder, there's bags of frozen chili that are still available, so pick up today or call the office if you're interested. Are there any other announcements? Reverend Blayne or anyone else?
Just wanted to let people know that Project Dana, our monthly activity, senior activity, will be starting up again after a 2-year hiatus. So it'll be the second Friday of every month, beginning next month, so May, will be the first time we'll be regathering in the social hall from 9 to noon on that day. So if you have any seniors or anyone who'd like to have some fellowship, do some crafts, have some good food, play some games, please join us for Project Dana every month. So again, thank you, everybody.
Anyone else have any announcements? Those of you on Zoom, you're welcome to stay on and talk story with anyone, one person at a time, by unmuting your mic during our virtual fellowship time. If you are ready to leave, just tap or click on the Leave Meeting button on your screen. Those of you here in person, refreshments will be served in the conference room. Mahalo to Rochelle Tagawa and Tiffany Kaneko for providing the goodies today. Thank you everyone for joining us. Please stay safe, and we hope to see you at the craft fair on May 7th and at the May 8th Mother's and Children's Day service.
Nama.